Hello and welcome. My name is Machiavelli, and here are my picks for UFC 320. Okay, I'm going to keep this very short and simple since, I'll be honest, the only fights I sorta care about and have been paying attention to are the championship fights. So I'll just give a quick rundown on what I think about the rest of them, then we'll move on. I have Joe Pyfer winning this fight by knockout. I think Abus Magomedov can win this fight and he can impose his will, but quite frankly, I think Joe Pyfer is going to be able to show off his counter wrestling. He's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and just land cleaner, harder shots on Abus. So I'm going with Pyfer. As for Emmett Zalal, I'm going Yusuf Zalal, of course. I think that fight is probably going to be a lock, so to speak. It's the usual NPC answers. Zalal is younger, he's more active, he has a higher finishing rate in a shorter time span. Josh Emmett's old, right? He has to rely on his big meaty overhook, that sort of thing. I don't think Josh Emmett is going to be active enough or land as many significant strikes to win as Yusuf will. Yusuf is probably going to tag him. He'll avoid most of Emmett's threatening shots. He'll land just enough to win off the judges' scorecards. That's about it. Nothing really more to see, I would imagine. Alright, so Yuri versus Halil. This fight is interesting to me for a few reasons, but I think the safe bet is probably to pick Yuri. He's the favorite. Most people seem to like him more. Halil is kind of a weirdo, and I'll be so honest with you. I would unironically consider myself a Jamal Hill fan. So seeing these two guys whoop him, so to speak, kind of hurts to watch. So I'm not exactly thrilled about hyping each guy, but of course we know that a win over Jamal Hill is super skilled, and these two have shown that they're right there in their title fights when they both got finished by Alex Pereira. But nonetheless, I think this fight can be exciting. We both expect them to stand up and trade, of course. I think this fight can go to a decision because both of these guys want to win. They want to stay composed and make smart decisions, I guess you could say. But in terms of who would actually go out for the finish if they get the opportunity to, I think Yuri will. Whereas Halil, he won't exactly force it. He'll try and go for a counter strike, or he'll make sure it's completely on his terms, if that makes sense. Even when these two both lose, when they get battered and beat, Halil is still the guy to stand up and trade. So I think he will stick to the game plan and try and knock out Yuri. But Yuri has more tools in the bag, but he doesn't use it. NPC answer, we all know this. I'm still going Yuri Prohaska to win this by finish. We'll say this. I think Magomed versus Halil is a really good fight to make, just solely for the trash talk, I guess. And because I think Magomed would destroy Halil. But let's move on to the championship fights. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. I think this fight is also a lock. I won't spend too much time on it. I think Merab is going to win. He's going to beat up Corey Sandhagen. He's going to toss him around, ragdoll him. And if it's the same locked in Merab we saw just a few months ago, then he's probably going to get the submission on Corey. Although Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley do not have similar fighting styles, They have pretty much the same exact lanklet body type, the same physique, I suppose. So Merab knows exactly how to handle that type of weight, if that makes sense. But also we know, just quite frankly, Merab is skilled. I've said it before, he's in his prime, he's good to go now, he's staying active, he's locked in, all that sort of stuff. That is great for Merab, so he's absolutely going to win this easily. I don't think he'll get caught. I don't think he'll be put into a silly position where, he wants to prove a point, and no, he's going to stick to his plan. We know he has cardio, right? He's just going to make sure he imposes his will on Corey the way he wants to get it done. I will say, Corey Sandhagen, of course, the dude, the geek himself, he tries to, look at me, I'm Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman with his knees, and I don't even know what I'm saying. It's just, I think this fight is silly, kind of undeserved, if you will. Dude's coming off a 1 fight win streak, I believe. I don't know, he is going to lose this fight. He's lost every other quote-unquote big step up in competition in all his title fights so far. I don't think this Corey Sandhagen, with coming off 1 win, is going to beat Merab in his prime, let alone by finish. You know what I mean? This isn't it. Definitely not. Merab by finish. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. That's what I would say if Alex Pereira was all that. Man, I don't even know what to say. I feel like I'm kind of switching up on him because I spent so much time and effort on my first video back in March. I had this big grand point that I showed off was, look at this, Pereira fought all these champions in a row. He knows how to stay composed and he has all this skill. But turns out Magomed was ready for all that. He not only outstruck Pereira, he knocked him down almost. He imposed his will better and he won the fight. It was competitive. Close, kind of, but he clearly won it at the time. And I had made a grand point. The reason why I thought Magomed was going to lose was because of Ramadan. I thought he was going to be fasting and depleted. And we know for a fact that Pereira and his team demanded Ramadan. We knew that he would try anything to get the advantage. But what we have to keep in mind is that although the fight took place during Ramadan, Magomed was in an interview and he confirmed that for the fight week at 313, he didn't fast. He broke his own fast. So I guess you could say that he made a deal with the devil. That's between him and Allah. But for now, he has the marital value of being the champion. I think Magomed is going to do anything in his power to keep the belt, of course, to defend the belt numerous times. So he's going to stay composed. He is going to have a better game plan in the sense that he will have a more composed time on the feet, because Pereira really did land his hardest shots on Ankalaev, and Ankalaev just took them. He ate those shots. But we do have to admit the takedown threat was there, and it's still going to be there. Here's the thing. As much as everyone likes to mention the takedown defense and how Magomed went 0 for however many he shot the first fight, which does look good, and it is a plus for Pereira, I suppose. That is something he can carry for this fight, of course. What we are forgetting is that defense never wins you fights. It never scores you points. So the only thing that can happen is Magomed keeps shooting, right? Like, he's either going to get them and he's going to, of course, take Pereira down, impose his will, land ground and pound, or if they do get stuffed again, he's still putting that pressure and putting Pereira on the back foot, making him think about it. So I pretty much think this fight is going to repeat the first one, because Pereira's really just been sitting out. He's been quiet, of course, the whole body language sort of thing this fight week, that's kind of giving an effect into this. But I think Magomed is going to win this fight by a unanimous decision or a knockout. Yes, I know no one's gonna watch this video. The algorithm's probably gonna pop it up for one or two people. They may or may not click and watch. But if you're here listening now, watching this, I want to thank you. Even to the crazy and obsessed stalker and haters who I live rent free in their heads, I appreciate all of the engagement. I really want to do something with this channel, and I will once I have more free time. But there are no excuses here. We're just watching the fights and getting this done. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Take care and bye.